Weed of the Week is a tough annual grass. It's woolly cupgrass.
It often gets mistaken for green foxtail, and there's a lot of little things that people say, well, look for a wrinkle on the side of the leaf. Well, that can be true of green foxtail too. The biggest difference that you're going to see with woolly cupgrass is it has a huge seed. And with grass plants, the seed will remain attached to the root system. So dig up the woolly cup carefully and look at the seed. If it's a great big monster seed, you know you're dealing with woolly cupgrass.
About 20 years ago, this was one of the worst weed problems we had in our area, in corn and for that matter even in soybeans, but especially in corn. And then Liberty Link came out. And even though Liberty normally is great on broadleaves and kind of weak on grass, for whatever reason, Liberty is fantastic on woolly cup.
Well, the other thing is Roundup Ready corn, because Roundup is awesome on woolly cupgrass too. So you've got a couple great options there. Unless you go conventional corn, Brian. If you go conventional corn, you're back to the 1990s.
Darren and I were talking about this earlier today, that you know what, conventional corn, yes, you can certainly do that. Whenever we talk about conventional corn too, you know, when Darren and I were young agronomists, we just called that corn. There were no other choices. It was just that. And I can tell you, woolly cupgrass, that's when it was the worst weed. Because if you go out there with the normal Group 15, Dual, Outlook, Harness, Surpass, Zidua, one of those, it's not going to get your woolly cup. Well, now what are you going to do?
Well, for a couple of reasons. One, woolly cupgrass generally emerges a little bit later. It's a warmer season grass. But the other thing is it's got this great big seed, so it's got all kinds of energy. And by then, your pre-emerge herbicide, even if you just applied it at a full rate, it's just not quite strong enough to take that weed out.
But balance is pretty decent on this particular weed.
If you get lots of rain, if you get timely rain, it can be okay. But the other thing is just accent post-emerge, and it's good up to maybe a 1 inch tall, maybe a 2 inch tall woolly cupgrass if you're really lucky.
Yep, so that's probably our number one fear for you if you're going to conventional corn. If you've had a history going back years ago to woolly cup, you still see some around your farm, we would worry for you, and you got to be scouting, like Darren said, so you get that accent sprayed timely.
All right, now let's turn to soybeans. Again, we've got Liberty and Roundup. They're both very effective, and our 3 pre's will work very nicely on woolly cupgrass too. In wheat, we don't normally fight a lot of woolly cupgrass. We would start off with something like Prepare Down, and then over the top you could use something like Everest or Axial for post-emerge control.
Yeah, usually it's not a big problem in wheat because this grass does come up later in the season like Darren mentioned earlier, and generally speaking we've got that great crop canopy. So that's probably the biggest thing we would tell you. Any late season weed, have great crop canopy and you have less of that weed.
Well, that's all the time we have for this week's Weed of the Week, but Iron Talk is coming up next.